Welcome back to another episode of Mad About You.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's terrifying. Guys, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we appreciate that you're listening to us. Now, Halloween is, I believe, tomorrow here in Australia. And Jad and I thought, for some reason, that it would be a good idea to share some of your ghostly / supernatural stories, which I always think is really weird because Jad gets so excited
We're
to hear
doing
these.
a spooky special.
She gets so excited to hear these, but then she's like irrationally terrified of the supernatural and ghosts. So like,
scared.
I find it like a weird sort of mix there.
I love
don't know
hearing
why
these
you
stories.
like hearing it.
I'm just so pumped.
Yeah, but I reckon they make you more fearful.
They do. I think last time we did something, we've done something similar before, and it did freak me out a bit. Yeah.
It's weird to think that was like a year ago. But then our Ask Mum and Dad at the end of the episode is from a girl trying to decipher her ex's intentions. Now, I don't know about many people listening. Obviously, you know, we have a lot of listeners, but I don't know how you guys feel about this sort of stuff. But as I'm sure you can probably guess, I'm a touch of a skeptic when it comes to the ghostly and the supernatural.
And
I think,
I am wearing my Damon Salvatore t-shirt.
yeah, from Vampire Diaries.
I am dressed in theme. Locke did not wear a costume. Very disappointing.
Do you know that shirt, that when you wear it, it pisses me off?
Why?
Because, and I've said this before, could have been a year ago, you made us watch Vampire Diaries. It's a very long show.
Oh.
Could be 12 seasons,
I didn't make
10
us.
seasons.
You suggested it, actually.
Just
Do
wait a second.
yourself.
Wait a second. We got so close to the end of the show. It was such a commitment.
Yeah.
And then you just went, not really vibing it anymore. And then we just didn't watch it. And I hate that.
Like the main character
hate that.
left.
Yeah, but that shirt annoys me. Just so you know.
I'll finish it now if you want.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But
Okay.
I forget what happened in the first 11 seasons. So
Cool.
we're
We'll
gonna have
watch
to
a little
rewatch.
cheeky wrap up. All good.
Okay. But yeah, personally, I think that most things can be explained. And, you know, if they can't be explained, it doesn't mean that it's supernatural. It just means that we don't know how to explain it yet. Right?
Boring.
Do you remember what Ricky...
Classic you. Didn't
do you know
dress
that,
up.
Do you remember Ricky Gervais called one of his like specials Supernature?
Yeah.
And he said that he doesn't believe in the supernatural because just nature is super enough.
Oh, and Ricky Gervais is God.
No, he's not God, but I think it's a good way of looking at it. Like nature and everything around us is so like super and
Yeah,
like in
but
itself.
how did it get here?
Oh
Do you know
my
what I
God, yeah,
mean?
it wasn't a ghost, trust me.
Could have been anything.
Yeah, but before we get stuck in, I'm a bit of a skeptic, but Jad actually, I would say, you know, it doesn't really hinder her life or anything, but I would say she's a bit like fearful of this kind of stuff, and I've never really understood why.
Yeah,
'cause-
my biggest fear is like a demon collecting me in the night.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation a couple of times, but I don't really know if it ever gets anywhere because I don't really understand where her fear comes from.
I don't know either. I just don't like the dark. That feels like something's lurking. I don't like random noises at nighttime. Don't like it.
Yeah, I can understand how a random noise at nighttime might, you know, make you fear that someone's in the house or something.
No,
a bit
not
fearful.
someone.
Like I understand that.
Something.
Okay, so don't fear an actual human that could hurt you. Fear the non-existent thing. Yeah, that makes sense. But what I'm more saying is that these stories that I get, people write them, and they're obviously like relaying their experience. And I can understand how this person might be fearful of these things, having experienced that, or you know, having thought that they experienced that. It makes sense. But when I ask you why you're fearful of these things, you never have an answer. That's what I just don't understand.
I used to have really creepy nightmares that felt very real.
Yeah, but a nightmare is just a nightmare, right?
But they'd haunt me. And as a child, you can't really differentiate between. It's just like, feels like an experience that was
yeah, but
real.
I'm just to confirm, like
Yeah.
you've never had sort of like a supernatural experience that is like cemented in your mind.
Oh,
that this is like, you know.
Like maybe once, but no, not really. Not what I anticipate when I'm scared.
So even just
Which
being,
is like my leg being dragged out of the Doona and
yeah, which is like what you see in movies and stuff. But,
yeah, probably. It's
but-
probably movies that have effed me up.
But you've been on the planet for 30 years. Nothing's ever happened.
Yeah.
But instead of being like, yeah, maybe there's nothing around that could, you know, do that to me.
No,
or,
I tell
that's
myself
lurking.
now, I say, look, all good, you've made it this long, so hopefully for the rest of your life you'll be fine.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. That's
Yeah,
very
like
mature
I
from
can
you.
go to the bathroom with the light off now. I'm very proud of myself about that.
That is good. That is good. But you don't believe that something could reach under the doona and pull you out of the bed.
No, I
Like,
still look down the stairs to make sure nothing's there when I go to the toilet in the middle of the night.
yeah, but when you're looking, are you looking for like an intruder, or are you looking for like a
Something crawling up the stairs.
gas-like figure that's?
Yeah, something like a shape that shouldn't exist.
Okay. I struggle to wrap my head around any of this, but all right, we have some great stories, and like they are quite spooky, some of them, and a little bit, odd and strange, and some things are harder to probably wrap your head around and explain, but they're going to definitely add to Jad's fear, so I'm excited about that. But here is our first listener story that is spooky, supernatural, ghost-like. Here it goes. It says, I still get full body chills every time I think about this, even 10 years later. Honestly, I have chills just writing this right now. This happened to a close friend of mine from college. See, already, it's always happening to someone, not happening themselves.
Oh, mate, just tell
All
the
right.
story.
He grew up with a single mum in a quiet, kind of isolated part of upstate New York. Not Manhattan, not the suburbs. Think back roads, dense woods, and that kind of eerie stillness that already feels like the beginning of a horror movie. One night, when he was around 8 years old, he woke up to his mum shaking him awake in panic. She was whispering urgently, Luke, we have to go right now. Still half asleep and confused, he trusted her completely and got out of bed. She was rushing him towards the back door in the kitchen, repeating, hurry, hurry, we have to go. It wasn't until they reached the door that he paused. Something felt off. He asked, why are we going out the back? Why not the front door? His mum didn't answer the question. She just said, there's no time to explain, come on. And just then he felt a hand grab his shoulder from behind. He turned around. Standing behind him was his mother, his real mother. Pale, wide-eyed, and deadly serious. She looked him straight in the eyes and said, do not go out there. Both of them turned to look outside, and that's when they saw it. There, standing in the yard, was a face, not a person, not an animal, just a face, watching them, dark, twisted, evil, something that wasn't human. It stared at them for a few moments, then vanished into the night. His mum quietly walked him back to his room. They never spoke about it again. And eventually, he convinced himself it was just a terrifying dream. Fast forward 10 years to his freshman year of college. Right before leaving home, he casually joked with his mum, saying something like, hey, take care of yourself while I'm gone. This house always gave me the creeps after that nightmare I had as a kid of almost being pulled into the backyard. She went pale. Her eyes went wide. Then she said, that wasn't a dream. That really happened. I remember it too, and I was hoping you'd never bring it up again. I'm sorry, but that is nightmare fuel.
I've got chills.
It's a good story. Like, it's a cool story. It sounds like a movie. Like, I get it. But relaying a story that someone told you, like she was saying, like there was a bit of pre-context. And She said, like, we were all in a dorm room, everyone together. Like, could have just been some guy telling a ghost story to, like, freak out chicks at college, you know? Like, it
could be. It is hard when it's someone else's
experience that you're trying to relay back.
Yeah.
But like I can understand hearing that, like, let's say you're young and dead of night and you're like in a room that's dark with people telling stories and you hear that. That is scary.
Freaked me out just then. So
yeah. But whether or not that's like to me, I just think, oh, maybe he was sleepwalking in a dream.
Yeah,
like I know people that sleepwalk.
But she's remembered it too.
Yeah.
Also, sorry. Can I just say, if that's occurring in my house, we're not living there anymore. Get up and move. Has no one seen scary movies?
Wait, you would leave a house if your kid
if that happened
had a potential bad dream?
No, if I found my kid at the door and said, don't go out there, and we both saw weird floating creepy face in the yard, I'm out. The next day, we're packing our bags. That night, actually, we're not going to sleep, firstly. I'm not sending you to your room to just be dragged back down the stairs by creepy fake me. We're packing our bags right now. All the lights are going on. I'm calling everyone I know. We're leaving.
It's crazy how just a light on is like the universal thing that just scares away all
Ghosts
the spirits.
don't like lights. It's proven.
What would you do if there was an actual person outside the house?
Oh, an actual Just person standing
Well,
there?
no, I'm just
Same.
hypothetically, like
Call the police.
you're saying you would make us pack up our stuff and move
Yeah,
house
we're going.
if you saw
Haunted
a
vibes.
face, even though it's very possible, like us as humans, our brains play tricks on us, and like different lighting or shadows can make us see things and faces in.
Yeah, but it's the whole scenario. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm saying if let's say like my mum had this wild experience, getting a touch off topic, when we were younger, she walked downstairs to make a cup of tea one night at like 2 a.m. when
Yeah.
she couldn't sleep, and our whole like kitchen area was like glass, like just out onto the back porch or whatever.
Yeah.
And when she was making a tea, she's like, "Oh, I did it in the dark because I didn't want to turn lights on and wake people up," or So she left the house completely black, and she just knew where the kettle was. She would click it, and she said that she was in the kitchen and a man was at the back door with a torch shining it through, like
That's
obviously
terrifying.
casing the house, and like went over her as she was making tea,
Oh,
and then
God.
went back to her. And like that to me is terrifying because like
That is
it's actually
terrifying.
scary
Yeah.
that someone is casing your house.
That's scary.
I
I agree. That is also scary.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you said you'd move house for the maybe
For the ghost thing, yeah.
scary thing
Move
that doesn't
house.
actually exist. So I'm saying if it was an actual experience like that where it was like
Human.
a thief casing your
Yeah,
house
yeah.
trying to break
Call
in.
the cops.
Yeah, but you wouldn't leave for that, but you would leave for the pretend thing.
Yeah. Because the cops can protect you from the thief, or now the thief also knows that you know that they're there. So it's unlikely, surely, that they will come back now. Now that you know. Or you're going to be put more safe measures in place to prevent yourselves from being broken into. But you can't, like, safeguard against a ghost. If it lives at the house, it lives at the house.
Why don't you just leave lights on at night? Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Why wouldn't you just leave lights on, though, or something? Or put garlic at the door or a cross at the door or something?
No. I'm leaving. I'm moving. There's no doubt. It's not worth that living at that house for the risk of the ghost coming
All right,
back.
I pray that Fletcher never has a bad dream and makes us move house. Jad, go next story.
Okay, all right. Next
Can
one
you
says...
go to the top one, though? Number 1. I did 10 first because
okay.
it was a good one.
Sure. All right, the next story says, my dad's old house was haunted. Every one of us kids had a creepy encounter at some point. We even gave it a name, George. Oh my God. That's not a very scary name. The TV would turn on by itself late at night when no one was watching. We'd hear footsteps in empty rooms, sometimes even voices whispering from nowhere. Eventually, my little sister refused to sleep there at all. That's when Dad called in Ghostbusters for a cleansing, and yes, they exist in Australia. Weirdly, the encounters did stop after that. How do you explain that? How do you explain Australian Ghostbusters cleansing the house?
I feel sorry for people who call Ghostbusters to come to their house.
That's
They'll
crazy.
Probably charge them a fortune to do nothing.
But it worked.
Like, what a business model.
It worked.
What a business model. What are they using? Like, pest control spray? Like, what do you use to get rid of a ghost? Or just some guy walks around the house saging it like this and
I don't know,
charge
actually.
you $400.
Yeah, I don't know how you get rid of a ghost. I wonder what their theme song is like. Dun, dun,
Wait, the
dun,
business
dun.
that came.
The Australian Ghostbusters, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, with this one, I feel bad that the dad bought into it and got the Ghostbusters to come instead of just like explaining to his kid, like, hey, old wood's going to creak sometimes. Like,
But it's his old house, so maybe he was the first one to experience it all.
So he was a true believer as well, you think?
Well, he's called Ghostbusters, so yes,
Yeah, but he
obviously.
might have done that just to appease his
Maybe
his young
Ghostbusters
daughter.
was just like one of his like cousins with like a moustache on
What?
to get the kids to feel safe in their home.
Oh, like he played it off as
Like he said Ghostbusters are coming, but it was actually
Sure,
like
called the
a
neighbour to
mate doing a solid.
put
Yeah.
on a hazmat suit and come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have... Yeah, I mean, I still think it's kind of like buying into the whole thing and,
Yeah, but if you can't beat him, join him.
No. If Fletcher was scared of ghosts, I wouldn't get Ghostbusters come and cleanse the house.
What if
'cause
it was
that would
so bad
That would
that-
like affirm to him that ghosts are real and he should be really
Okay.
scared of them.
Say you've tried everything, every possible thing to make him comfortable in the home to the
Yeah.
point where he's now not sleeping. He's not going to bed,
Yeah.
which is like he's torturing himself. As a parent, you can't tell me that you wouldn't be concerned and do everything that you could to try to get them to feel comfortable, which might be calling Ghostbusters, fake or not.
Yeah, okay. If it made him feel comfortable, but if I knew it was just going to make him long-term worse, then I'm not a big advocate of like
you can't-
Band-Aids for bullet wounds.
You don't know what requires a Band-Aid sometimes and what requires a surgery.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Sometimes I need to like think what you're saying if it makes sense, but
Just read the next
most
story.
of the time it doesn't. All right, next story says, one night my mum and auntie both felt someone sit on the end of their beds at the exact same time,
Ew.
according to their clocks.
I hate that.
They lived in different houses. The next morning, we learned my pop had passed away. At that exact time of night, they experienced that feeling. They said it was like his spirit came to say goodbye. I still get shivers when I think about this.
No, I believe that. I fully
You believe
that.
what?
That happened. That's crazy. How do you explain that?
Well,
You no.
no, that's not. I can't explain it.
Exactly.
Because it's not. It can't be explained.
That's so weird.
But also, what is a ghost, right? Or what is a
I don't know.
spirit? Well, it doesn't have a mass, right?
Could.
It could.
Yes. If it's sat on the bed, obviously.
No, it's like
There's
it's
mass.
spirit. It's meant to be like non-existent.
But it might be in both worlds still. It's passing, so it's come to say bye.
Yeah, but it has no physical mass.
Yeah, but it does because
Otherwise,
it's sat
you'd be
on the
able
bed
to
and they felt
physically
it.
see it. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that it doesn't really make sense because if you don't have any mass, you wouldn't be able to cause any effect on the bed.
Well, we're all made up of energy, right? Technically.
I can't wait for this explanation. Yep.
So, isn't it possible that some energy is just transparent?
Very possible. And a great point. We'll add that.
When you feel like the force of the wind when you stick your head out the car window, that feels like it's heavy on your face, right?
Not sure what that means.
It's invisible, but there's a feeling.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because of the acceleration and the force of then the wind hitting your face.
Yeah. So maybe ghosts are like that.
Yeah, that is very possible and a great argument, and I love that you've come up with it. But I more feel that in these scenarios that they're
Just a massive coinky-dink.
They could be a coinky-dink.
Oh, but there's too many factors involved. It's the night, it's the time of the passing, it's both of their
Yeah,
beds.
but hypothetically, they
You've
could have
got two people with the same encounter.
they could have known that their pop was, ill and on his last legs and about to pass, and they might have said this when they found out the next day, no matter what day it was, if it was a week in the future, or they might have just like had this nice feeling, like comforting feeling to help them through like a grieving process. Like it's very
you're wrong.
possible.
It's the same time. It's the exact same experience. It fully happened. It was pop.
All right, fair enough. We'll knock that one down as true then. All right, next story.
The next story says, I was staying at a hotel for the weekend with some girlfriends, and it had a long hallway with 5-ish rooms each side, and at the end was the elevator. We were walking down the hallway and I hear something, so I turn slightly, and in my peripherals I see an old lady in a floral nightie, those typical nighties they wear. Well, I didn't think much of it and kept walking, thinking she came out of her room. Then I felt weird, so glanced back again and saw her for the second time, but was only for a split second, so shrugged it off again, thinking I was imagining things. We got to the end of the hallway and it happened again. Mind you, no doors opened or closed, and you couldn't hide behind anything. I didn't share with the girls because they are easily jumpy, but it had to have been a ghost.
Why couldn't it have just been someone staying at the hotel as well, just walking down the hallway with her to use the lift?
She said no doors opened or closed, and she kept disappearing.
No, she said that she turned forward and kept walking, and then when she turned back, they were still there.
So
Yeah, 'cause
what,
they were
grandma's playing red light, green light?
No, she's just walking down the hallway to get to the lift, the same as they are. And every time she looks back, she's seeing her. It's not like a surprise. Like,
But
yeah,
she's
if I
in
look
the-
forward, I'm not going to see her. And then when I look back, she's going to be there.
She's wearing ghost uniform.
Nighty.
Yes.
She was just probably going down to reception to ask them for some ice or something. And this chick thought it was an old lady ghost.
Yeah, look, that one, I understand the experience and that feeling. Like I can visualize myself in this hallway and grandma keeps popping up in my peripherals. But I get what you're saying also. It could just be that she was...
Probably a good thing you didn't tell your friends, because they would have been like, yeah, we saw her too. She was in the lobby earlier, I don't think that one's even a...
I would have told my friends.
Really scary story. Yeah, because you would have tried to freak them out with you.
No, I would have said, did anyone see that old lady, so I can confirm whether or not she was there?
Do you have friends that are equally as, scared of this stuff? Or?
Like, not really. Like,
I don't know any
I reckon I'd have
blokey
friends
mates
who
that
would
are
believe
scared
in
of
like
this stuff.
spirits and like passing over and stuff, but not necessarily like ghosts.
So you've never spoken about it with your friends?
Not often.
A bit embarrassed then, or
No, just doesn't come up.
fair enough. That's yeah. Okay, next story says, our childhood home we grew up in was always known to have spirits around. Fair enough. Growing up, we had so many strange things happen. For example, my siblings and I used to share one huge bedroom with bunk beds, and my parents' room was at the other end of the house. One night, Mum and Dad got woken up to the sound of laughter and noise coming from our room. They said it sounded like we were all up in the middle of the night running around and playing in our room. Dad said he got out of bed and went to our room, and he could hear the noises the whole way he was walking there in the dark. He said as he opened our bedroom door, the noises completely stopped and it was dead quiet. He said we were all sleeping soundly and were never awake in the first place.
I've done that heaps of times with my parents.
He said the hair on the back of his neck was up and he felt very strange. He said he turned to leave and we used to have a giant money box on our drawer that was so heavy and filled with coins. But as he turned to go, the whole thing swayed back and forth. He said he got an overwhelming feeling that his dad, who had passed away a few years earlier, was right there in the room with us.
That's creepy.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't tell my kids that if
just
that
none
happened.
of it really makes any sense.
What do you mean?
Well,
You
firstly,
think the kids are just mucking around? They're fake
Well-
sleeping and Dad fell for it. Maybe he had a couple of vinos before bed.
yeah, like I mean, I didn't think about the vinos, but how many times I remember countless times as a kid being at like a sleepover at a mate's house,
Yeah.
and we'd be mucking around, and then you'd tell a joke and you'd laugh too loud, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, I hope his parents didn't hear." Like, and then you'd hear them like walk up the stairs, and you'd be like, "Quick, let's pretend we're asleep," and pretend you're asleep, and then they would have come in and gone, "Oh." Well, obviously the parents wouldn't have thought you were sound asleep because
Well, yeah, as an adult now with the child, you'd be able to tell if
Like
they
it's-
were asleep or not.
it's definitely possible that the kids were mucking around. Firstly, or as you said, he might have had a few vinos and not knowing what's going on. Like, very possible as well. I didn't even think about that. But just things, super heavy things moving. Like, I think sometimes people just remember things how they want to because it's a nice thought to think that someone who's passed is like there with you. Because if that was the case, how would it be that they're like the voices of multiple kids? You know, like it doesn't make sense.
What do you mean? Oh,
Well, she said he thought it was his dad being present, but he heard multiple kids laughing and playing. So how does your dad represent
Yeah,
multiple
like
people's
I
voices
think-
and laughing?
well,
You know,
I
it doesn't
think
make sense.
yeah, I don't know about that element. That element I'm stuck on myself.
Yeah, but I remember we did an episode ages back now with a medium whose, little job it was to like connect with people on the other side. And I felt
Florence,
and-
absolute legend.
and I was in two minds about what she did, right? Because I was like, I feel like it's a bit like Connie sort of, but then at the same time I understand that maybe it's like really helpful for some people to like feel closure, or it might be what they need to feel okay to keep.
But if she believes what she's
keep
doing,
going.
then
Yeah, but you'll never know that, right? Like, you'll never know if they truly feel that or if it's like a great income, Like, and
you'll
it's-
never know whether or not Grandpa shook the money box.
That's true. I will never know, but I will have a pretty good idea, I think, that it wasn't him.
Okay, we're moving on to our next story. It says, when I was in high school, my family and I lived in a newly built house on a really big block of land in Queensland. The land had been historically settled by German families in the 1800s. One night, I have a dream that I wake up at about 2 a.m. in the morning. Sorry, is she saying then she wakes up? Or the dream is that she wakes up in the dream?
Read it and find out. What do you mean? I don't know.
Okay. One night, I have a dream that I wake up at about 2 a.m. in the morning and look out my window to the road at the front of the house. It was a full moon that night, so I could see everything. There was a little girl, about 12, with long blonde hair walking down the street wearing an old-fashioned nightgown, and she was singing a lullaby. I woke up in the morning and went to my sister's room, and she looked a bit rattled. I started telling her about the weird dream I had had, and she interrupted me at the part where I said I'd woken up at 2 a.m. and she goes, "Did you see a girl about 11 or 12 with long blonde curly hair walking down our street singing lullabies?" Turns out we'd both had the same dream. We were both freaked out. A few weeks later, my sister and I were sitting at the back of our property around a fire with our dad. I started telling the story about how we'd both had the same dream. Before I got the chance to describe what the child we'd both seen in our dreams looked like, my dad interrupts and goes, "Was it a little girl with really long blonde hair in a white dress from the 1900s?" My sister and I both said yes. Then Dad goes, "I've seen her in the house. I never saw her again, and I never saw her in the house, but I always used to feel like there was someone in the house with me when I was there by myself, and it always freaked me out. Maybe a year or so after this happened, I had stopped by the side of the road next to a paddock waiting to pick up a friend to go swimming training. I noticed a really small grave in the paddock that was lined with a little white fence. Turns out a German family who had immigrated to Australia in the 1860s had lost 3 of their children/babies in the 1870s. I'm not sure if the little girl may have been one of their children, but I can't help but suspect that she may have been." See, like, how do you explain the instances where 2 people have had the same experience? 3! And she was in the house for Dad.
I don't know.
Oh,
But
come on.
just because...
Mister, I can prove anything's fake.
No. It's on the onus of the people saying that ghosts exist to prove that they do, not me to prove that they don't. That's not how that
The
works.
proof is this story.
No, but that's the thing, is that I don't disagree that they might have both had a really similar dream. Like, that's definitely possible. But it sounds like they've been prefaced, like, their whole lives by thinking that they live in this house. That's, she, like, it literally says, like, at the beginning, I lived in this old house that was built, and it was always strange things happening. Like, it's your family.
House.
Your family's probably, like, told you these stories over time, which turns you into this, like, kind of believer. And then maybe you guys watched a movie, or your dad told you a story. Like, often kids, like my dad would read us all the same story before bed or something. So, like, maybe you all got read a similar story or watched a similar movie, and then a little girl in a white dress is what you're thinking about when you go to sleep, and then you have a dream about it. Like, who knows? But I'm saying, just because I can't explain it doesn't mean I instantly go, "Oh, it must be true," because I don't know how to explain
I
it.
believe.
But yeah, I don't know, they're cool stories, but like, I don't really know why only why do you think only so few people experience something like this?
A lot of people do. Look at all these stories we've got.
Yeah, I mean, we have like thousands and thousands of listeners, and we're reading out 10 stories. So
Yeah.
it's not really that crazy as a
I
percentage.
think a lot of people either have their own ghost story or know someone who does. I don't think it's that uncommon.
Yeah, but you've read a couple of these and gone, "Oh, I'm a bit iffy about that."
No, that was
so.
the grandma. That was the only one. And maybe the sleepover where the kids were pretending to be asleep.
Yeah, but so what are ghosts then? If they just see this girl walking around and she just looks like a little blonde girl in a dress, like, is it a real figure, or is a ghost like transparent, or is it a spirit, or is
Spirit.
like, what is it?
Ghost is spirit.
Yeah, but what is it?
Neither here nor there. Stuck somewhere in between. Hasn't moved on.
Moved on to where?
The next one.
Next one. What is it? A song?
The next place. Wherever that is. How do you go through life only believing the things that are right in front of you? That's what I want to know.
It's not right in front of me.
Like, you there's so much that we don't know that we're constantly discovering. How can you only believe in, like we don't even know what's in the ocean?
Yeah.
Does that mean you don't believe that there's other things down there? Could be mermaids.
But you said constantly discovering. So when we discover it,
Yeah.
or we can,
But we
like,
just haven't
prove it,
discovered
I'll
how
believe in it.
ghosts exist yet. We haven't proven it. We might one day. Well, we might not have the technology ever.
But if we do prove it one day, I will jump over to that side so quick, and I'll get amongst it when you can prove it. But
I
have you
hope we
seen-
don't prove it for
have you
the
seen
sake
those?
of my mental
Have you
health.
seen those those ghost shows online, Ghost Hunters?
Yeah.
Like, where they go into spooky houses that people
Yeah.
think, and then they turn all the lights off, and then they film with, like, night vision cameras, and then something moves or something. They've never seen a ghost.
No, they've never filmed a ghost. Different. Ghosts are they don't show up on cameras.
They don't show. Convenient. Very convenient.
They don't.
And why is that?
The camera, it doesn't have the technology to capture the in-between life.
What does that mean?
It means what I've just said. Figure it out.
But this girl was they just said a full figure. She wasn't like,
It's like another dimension. You can't capture another dimension with the this dimension camera.
Yeah. I actually didn't think about it with the this dimension camera part, so that makes sense now.
Thank you.
Sorry for questioning you.
Right? Our cameras are designed to capture our light,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
theirs.
But when you hear a story like that,
Yeah.
do you believe
That they
this-
both had the same dream, yes.
No. As I just said, I'm not saying that they couldn't have had the same dream. I'm saying, do you believe that there was a little girl just that lives walking around as a ghost on this property? Like, do you believe that? That's what I'm saying.
It checks out, honestly.
It checks out.
Yeah. I'm imagining like a cornfield, it's dusty.
So one day, let's just say Fletcher and I could concoct, like we could have a little lads meeting and we could go, let's tell Mum that we both had this dream, and we could just make something up and then you would believe it because we both pretended that we had a dream.
I would
about it.
believe it, yeah, because I trust my son and my husband. So are you telling me that I shouldn't?
No, I'm just
'Cause
saying
that's a different podcast we
is-
need to be doing.
Is that all it takes? Just someone saying something and then you believe it?
I would believe
don't
you
you-
and him. Yes, I would believe you both.
But you're believing these people that are just telling you about a dream
Some of
that
them
they
I
had.
believe some.
Yeah, I feel like you need to maybe be a touch more skeptical.
I feel like you need to be less skeptical.
No, I think it serves us quite well when you are the way inclined you are. All right, next story says, flashback to when my daughter was about 6 months old. Her and I were going to bed together and my husband was staying up later to watch the footy. I popped her into our bed and quickly went to the bathroom, but she was quite hysterically crying as she was overdue for a feed. I was trying to be as quick as I could when all of a sudden she sat up in bed and totally stopped crying, faced towards the open bedroom door and started smiling and giggling. I assumed my husband had come to see if she was okay because she had been crying whilst waiting for me to join her in bed. So I came out of the bathroom expecting to see him standing in the doorway. However, when I came out of the bathroom, no one was there. And I asked my husband if he had been there at all, and he said no, I was watching the footy the whole time. So let's just say she was smiling and giggling at someone in the doorway that I couldn't see.
Yeah, see, I believe that.
Wait, so it couldn't have just been like the robe on the back of the door moving or looking a certain way, or like the fan moving it and the kid thinking that's
No,
funny. Like
it
there's
was a
no
funny ghost playing peekaboo.
Oh my god. Okay. See, where's the skepticism?
I've seen so many videos.
Okay, I just
of,
want
like,
devil's advocate for you.
Ugh,
Just give me, if you were to be skeptical of this, what would you say?
Like, what would my response be?
Yeah, like give me devil's advocate.
She remembered something funny.
The kid
Yeah.
remembered something funny.
Yeah, but babies don't just remember things. Like,
Well, it's
they're very
it's
present.
your skepticism. You don't have
That's
to
what I'm
make
saying.
something up.
My skepticism, I don't even believe.
Oh god, that
I've
must be
seen so
nice.
many videos, like monitor videos, where babies are doing exactly that. Like they're talking to, or like little young kids are talking to someone in their room.
Wait, how do you know it's someone in their room? Why couldn't they be talking to a poster or a picture or a flag?
Because the caption says, saw my kid talking to someone and don't know who this person
Okay.
is. It's a spirit.
Does Fletcher talk in his bed?
Yes. But he doesn't talk to someone. He goes, la la da da mama, Simba.
Yeah, so do you think Simba's in the room with him when he's talking to Simba?
No, but he's not having conversation. If he had a conversation with someone, I'd be concerned. And he was looking directly at one point, I would be concerned. It's the eye contact with nothing that freaks me out. Sorry. What are you looking at?
But it's a dark room, so they can't see anything probably.
So, but it's also possible you can acknowledge that there was a ghost in the doorway.
No.
Well, you have no proof of the fact that there wasn't.
But I think that when this happens to this lady and she thinks that there's a ghost, I think that's just such an odd thing to get to as the first thing. Like,
No, I
wouldn't you,
can see that.
Wouldn't you just go like, oh, my baby saw something, or
I'd get it.
or snapped out of it, or like surely my mind goes somewhere else. Then I got back from the bathroom, my baby was no longer crying, therefore there had to be like
As someone
a
who has
figure.
had a baby for 16 months,
Yeah.
or now toddler,
What does that?
have you ever seen him crying hysterically, snap out of it and start laughing at nothing? It
Mm,
would be very strange. Very, very strange. And I too would think that someone had come into the room.
Yeah, it would be strange, and I would think that maybe someone had come to solve it. But if I figured out that someone hadn't, I wouldn't go to, there's definitely a ghost.
What would
in
you
the
go
room
to?
then. I wouldn't know.
Well, then there you go.
No, that's not
There
like
you
a,
go.
that's not like a checkmate
It
to
is.
you.
It's a checkmate.
Saying you don't know is better than saying you do know it's X, but there's no proof that it's X. You know, like that just seems like an odd route.
Where's
an
the
odd
proof
route
of
to
our
take.
love?
Where's the proof in our love?
How can you prove that our love exists?
You can't.
There you go. Might not exist now to you.
Glad you thought that point through before making it. No,
Shall we read another story?
I can't wait for you to tack on.
Okay. I was rejected by a guy who was a childhood crush after he helped me move. Ended up getting a spirit follow.
There must be a thing, a spirit follow.
So I have to read this again. I was rejected by a guy who was a childhood crush after he helped me move. Ended up getting a spirit follow attached to me because I was so hurt. When I released the spirit, I got a call the next day from my agent asking if I called the fire brigade because smoke was seen from my balcony. It was the spirit.
It was the spirit. Like, she confirmed it was the spirit. See, this is what I just don't understand. I don't...
What's a spirit follow?
This person obviously believes that something, like, attached to them because they went through something bad. But, surely that's just, like, a coping mechanism for people, right? Like, I understand if you're going... like she said, you're rejected, breakup, you're going through it. So a nice thing to do to rationalize the hardship that you're going through is to go... a negative spirit has attached itself to me, and that's how I'm going to explain all the bad things that are happening to me. You know, like, I understand why people would do it. Just because,
Yeah.
like, personally, I'm not religious, but I can understand why people are religious. You know, like, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But
This one, but the fire brigade. So someone saw the smoke. The smoke was there. Could have been the spirit follow.
okay. Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate for the girls.
How do you know this is a girl?
I could tell.
It says I was rejected by a guy. Could have been a guy being rejected by a guy.
Was it a girl?
I'm not sure.
Yes, you do. You
Not
know.
sure.
You know. Tell me.
In this case, it was.
Yeah.
But that was very rude of you to assume it was a girl.
As a girl, I can pick up. I can sense the girl vibes. So I knew it was for the girls.
Do you think that's like
It's a
an
spiritual.
overall?
I
Yeah,
have the
but,
spirit follow.
but would you say that's like a healthy way of dealing with something like that?
Having a spirit follow.
No, not having a spirit follow. Thinking that is the reason why things aren't going your way. Like why can't you just think like, oh, this guy realized that we weren't a good match and he didn't want to be with me. Like, that's just an option. You don't have to be attached by like a bad spirit that
No,
ruins
she said
every
she got a
element of your
spirit
life.
follow after the breakup. I think
Yeah.
it was a support spirit. And then when she released the spirit, it went out the window in the smoke. Right?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but it sounds like you really connect with and resonate with these things. But yeah, I mean,
Maybe I have a spirit follow. I've been feeling this dead weight.
yeah, I think you've been going through a bit of stuff. But this is what I'm saying. I think that because you're going through a tough time in life, right, and you're going through a lot emotionally, it would be very nice to rationalize that by simply saying, I've got this negative spirit that's attached to me.
I'm going to present a situation to you.
I can't wait for it. Have you thought about it, or are you thinking about it now?
I'm trying to think of how to articulate it. Right, okay. So, your argument is that it's not real, but it's real for her, right? Let's start there. Yes?
I mean, sure, for all intents and purposes of this.
Yes, it's real for her. So, say you and I are having a conversation over text. You've said something to me that I've interpreted in the wrong way, right? For example, I'm offended because you've said something, you've conveyed yourself incorrectly. You meant to say something in a different way. I've interpreted it as a certain way, and now I'm upset. That was real for me, right? But you had a completely different experience. Your intention wasn't that. So you're having one experience and I'm having another. Is it not possible that both can coexist? And that my reality is just different to yours?
Yeah, I guess. But what was your first point? I forget the first point.
That it's real for her. She had a spirit follow.
No, but I don't agree with the fact that.
But how can you tell her what she's experienced?
Okay, do you want me to
Because
provide
you
with
haven't got a spirit
Do you
follow.
want me to provide you with an example?
I think you're jealous.
Okay, let's say there's like a really person that's very.
There's a really person.
No, there's a really. I'm trying to figure out a nice way of saying this. Let's say there's a person in front of you that's very, very skinny, right, to the point of like close to anorexia,
Okay.
and they feel like they're really overweight and need to go on a diet. Just because they feel that, does that mean that you should like affirm that belief and that's like an experience that they're having and you should say like, yes, go and do that?
But I'm
No,
not
that's not
saying you
necessarily
should
the case.
affirm it. But I'm saying in their world, that's their reality, right? That's literally the illness. Is that they believe that.
So you're saying the person that believes they have a spirit is an illness?
No.
Spirit connection?
That's
their
a
illness?
different scenario. I'm simply saying two realities can coexist, and sometimes one's not more right than the other. Because everything in life is a perception, if you think about it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
There you go.
But I also disagree that there's like what you're going through and like your experience, like you're having an experience, but there's still like objective truth in the world.
No, there's not.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I don't know how to argue with that.
Let's say we're both at Luna Park.
I can't wait for this. I reckon with these, you just go, I want to talk about Luna Park. I'm going to make something up as we go here.
We both go on the rotor.
Yeah.
You have a great time. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You come off. You go, that was the best ride ever that ever exists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I come off. I go, I feel so disgusting and sick.
Yeah.
That was the worst ride ever in the world.
Uh-huh.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Both coexist. It is both the best and the worst ride in the world because of our different perceptions. Just because you don't have a spirit follow doesn't mean someone else doesn't have a spirit follow.
I mean, when you put it so eloquently, I have to just, that's very true. This woman probably does have a spirit follow, and I feel sorry for her because that must be really hard to just be followed by the spirit.
No, she released the spirit follow. It's
when
all
she
good.
burnt the toast and had the smoke. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I understand the point that you're making, sort of, but I don't really understand how it is meant to convince me that there's a spirit following this person.
Sometimes you can't understand that which you don't have.
That's an easy get out of jail free right there. Fair enough. All right, let's see what other nonsense you can talk about the next story. All right, it says, about 10 years ago, I was living in a short-term rental with my mum until our new house settled. It was late, so mum was in bed, but she left the hall light on. When I got home, I climbed into bed, lights off, ready to go to sleep. A few minutes later, my door creaked open. It wasn't uncommon for mum to check in to make sure I got home safely. I said, "Mum, I'm home safe," but she didn't respond. I heard the door close and footsteps come towards my bed.
No.
Again, I told my mum, "I'm home." Next minute, something grabbed my Doona and tried to rip it off me. I turned the lamp on so quickly, but nothing and no one was there. I asked Mum the next morning if she came into my room. She said no. Well, obviously, you turned the light on. She wasn't there. I've never forgotten that experience, and it gives me goosebumps every time I think about it.
Ew. No. See, that's my worst nightmare. Also, why would you not go ask your mum immediately? Get up out of bed, go ask her. Mum, did you just come into my room? That's what I would do.
I don't think logic plays much in these scenarios.
That's horrible. Could be lucid dreaming, though.
Yeah, definitely. But also...
But that's my biggest... that's my biggest fear is like something grabbing me.
Wait, it's your biggest fear to have something
Yeah.
grabbing you, even though
In
the
the
first thing
bed.
you said was you could be lucid dreaming.
Yeah. But it feels real.
But I always have those, like, you know, when you're dozing off and you're just sort of on the brink of sleep and then you get shocked awake by something. That happens to me
Yeah.
all the time.
Me too,
right?
but it's not something grabbing the doona and me talking to no one at the door.
But no, but but she wasn't talking to anyone. The door creaked open. It could have been from the aircon,
Then
the
it's
wind,
shut,
the window
then there
left.
was footsteps.
a
You are
window
missing
left
key
open.
points.
Yeah, we hear things in white noise as humans. It's literally, I forget there's a name for it. It's like we hear and see things in darkness and with white noise. Like we hear voices and stuff. I forget the name, but there's a term for it. So it's
Sure.
definitely possible that these things happen.
It's convenient that you don't know
But-
the name of it.
Oh, I can find it out for you when we're on the way home. But what I'm more saying is that wouldn't you say that it's more probable that she experienced something similar to what you experience when you're close to falling asleep or when you're really tired and you have that like jerky reaction?
No, I've never had the jerky reaction accompanied by a series of events. It's just the jerk, and then you're up.
Okay, do you think if this demonic spirit,
Yeah.
all-powerful, all-knowing, tried to rip your Doona off, it would succeed? Like, she didn't say the Doona went off onto the floor. She said it tried, and she just held the Doona and it didn't move.
I don't know much about
That's
demons.
convenient.
But it's possible that they are like, there's like a head demon, and they grant other demons permission to approach said human, and they only get one chance. So if the light goes on whilst they're doing the grabbing, it's possible.
Yeah, he has to teleport out. You should write. I honestly fear for the time you ever take like a hallucinogenic drug because your mind would go crazy.
It's possible that they don't get a second chance to grab the leg.
That's probably the higher probability option here. I don't disagree with that.
I don't know much about ghost demon rules. I'm just, I'm sure they have laws. We have laws.
Yeah, but it sounds like you don't really believe in our laws, especially the laws of like physics and stuff, like of mass sitting on beds. Like you don't believe in those laws, so like a zero mass thing could create a force on a bed, and it makes sense. It all makes sense to me.
I hate
really.
this for you. I'm sorry that this happened.
It's honestly been a painful few weeks for me on the pod. I'll be honest. It's hurting my brain a lot. Yeah, that one, I think, just sounds like you had a little funky experience when you were almost close to sleep and something happened. Like
I'm validating your experience.
I always have the falling dream and I always have the injury dream. Like it feels like I've re-snapped my leg and my knee or something. Like I have that.
Oh.
I don't think that a demon
I've never had
snapped
an
my
injury
leg,
dream. What are you talking about? What's an injury dream?
I always have.
Aren't you not supposed to feel pain in your dream?
Yeah, I don't feel pain, obviously. But I have, like, I will close my eyes and I'll be back, like, on the basketball court and I will, like, do something and my leg will snap again. You know, like,
I think that's a trauma response, honey.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. This chick might be having a trauma response too. Why didn't you give her that option? Why did it have to be the demon doing the one pull?
Maybe you should talk to someone.
No, I'm fine.
Or you might have a spirit follow.
I think it's the spirit follow myself, personally. Obviously, I wanted to take the negative side of this. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's Jad's sorted it. That one's real too.
Okay, this is our last scary story.
Thank God.
Okay, one night my family and I were having a chill Friday night with music and some drinks around the fire. At some point, my dad, who buys new toys from Facebook ads on a weekly basis, pulled out an ultra-long laser pointer and some sort of gun that shot little air pellets. We were all playing around, aiming the laser up at the trees in our backyard and shooting the gun, thinking nothing of it. That night, I was woken up feeling vividly like I was punched in the face, a good strong punch to the side of my cheek. I woke up startled and looked over, ready to wake my boyfriend up to tell him he accidentally hit me, but he woke up at the exact same time and said he felt the same thing.
Here we go. How do you explain it? There's two people at the same time.
He woke up feeling like he had been slapped in the side of his face. Neither of us touched each other at all, but both had the most vivid feeling of being hit. We were convinced we must have pissed off some demons in the trees who took their anger out by hitting us both. Explain that. They haven't both elbowed each other in the face.
I mean, that is way more likely that he accidentally whacked her and himself.
It's possible.
But I'm confused, right? If you said they were all around the fire doing it, why didn't everyone get punched in the face that night?
I've got a theory.
She didn't say I walked around the house in the morning and everyone had the same experience. Why was the demon only picking on these two?
I've got a theory, right?
I can't wait to hear it.
No, you're going to like this one.
I promise you I won't.
You've done something to piss your boyfriend off. He's waited till you've fallen asleep.
And whacked you in the head.
He's whacked you in the head, and then when you've woken up, he's gone, me too, to get away with it.
See, that sounds more likely to me, honestly. As heinous as that would be, that sounds more likely.
He's gone, yeah, I don't know where that came from. You know those videos you see in like Kmart where someone's put a bucket on someone's head and then one on their own?
Yeah, I have seen
It's like that. But
that is more possible.
Your boyfriend smacked you in the face and then tried to get away with it.
But don't you think it's...
By going, the demon in the trees doll. And she's gone, oh yeah, we'll go back to sleep.
Yeah. I like that. That's the best one from you so far. The best, like, reasoning. But what I don't understand is these people say, I feel like I got whacked in the face. The same as when I have the dreams, right? I feel like my legs snapped again, but I don't feel pain. The same as like, I feel like I got slapped in the face. But when you wake up, there's no handprint on your face. You don't have a bruise. You're not red. It's not actually hurting.
I
So
disagree.
don't you think it's just a feeling that you have when you're asleep?
No, because you can differentiate between like a dream feeling and then actually having a physical, like lingering feeling on your face. Because if you feel like you've been punched in the face, it's pretty hectic. You're not just gonna like roll over and wake your boyfriend up and go, "You smacked me in the face."
Yeah, but it's pretty hectic when you do those falling dreams and you wake up really instantly and you feel like you're falling off a cliff. Like that's a pretty shocking feeling. I don't then go, "Holy shit, I just fell off a cliff." You know?
Yeah, I just think they're different. I just disagree. I think they're different.
Awesome. I'm glad.
But I do think it's likely that one of you just did a double whammy accidentally.
Thank you for finally getting that at the end of this episode. It wasn't the ghost.
I don't think that with everyone.
It was just an accident or a coincidence or something. Okay, thank God that was a beautiful episode. Thanks for being part of it, guys.
No, thank you guys for writing in. I love hearing these.
Thank you for sharing. They were all your experiences are all very valid, and I validate them. And just because you're experiencing something and I'm not, I've learned that your experience is very much probably true.
That really hurt, Locke, just say.
All right, now let's get to reality with helping this person out with their problem. All right, it says, I have just split with my boyfriend of 3 years a few months ago. It was an amicable breakup, and we just decided it was the best to go our own ways for a bit to decide what we really want in life. We had a period of about 2 months where we didn't talk at all. Then recently he started reaching out again and making a bit of an effort to catch up, hang out, and go out to dinner, etc. I'm about to go overseas to live for a little while, and so his behavior recently has confused me a little bit, but I found that it's brought up feelings that I have suppressed and that I really like him again. I would ideally love to rekindle properly with him when I return back to Oz early to mid to 2026, and I just want to know your thoughts and opinions on this, / how to go about it, and whether it's best to drop all contact while I'm away or to keep talking. If you could maybe also relate it to when you guys broke up and got back together and what the being apart period looked like for you guys. Thanks.
That's a tricky one.
Well, I think it's a bit different firstly in the sense that you've said that he's reached out trying to rekindle. You still have really strong feelings. You really like him. You want to get back with him, but perhaps like that was very different to Jad and I. We just broke up. There was no...
But people don't know that. That's the thing. She might not have the context.
We just split up and there was no, I really love her and we're going to get back together, but she just needs to go and do this trip. It was nothing about that. We just fell back into each other's presence years down the track.
We'd both had different relationships for like years.
Yeah. So it just happened. There was no plan. So I feel a little bit different in the sense that your scenario, you like have a time period of a plan when you want to get back with him because you still have really strong feelings about him. But I don't know. Like it is a tricky one because you're going away on a trip and you're young and people do things on trip and want to meet people and experience other things and totally can appreciate that. But that would also be hard if you're in love with this person that you're leaving back home and that you want to be with them or that your plan is to be with them at the end because, I don't know, it might have been a ship that sailed when you get back and that opportunity might not be there anymore. So I think you have to have a think about what you actually want.
If it's truly meant for you, you can go on a trip for a couple of months and come back and he will still be there. That's what I think. I don't think you need to like rush into locking anything in if you're unsure and you'd rather go overseas and technically be single. But I also don't think you need to like draw a line in the sand and say, hey, I want to be single for this trip. You can just kind of keep in touch and do whatever feels natural when you're overseas. Like if you still feel drawn to him when you're overseas, keep chatting. Great. That's all good. You don't need to actually make a decision just because you're going on a plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think probably she's fearful that staying attached to him will like not allow her to probably fully experience and enjoy and let loose overseas because she'll still be attached to him through.
But that's because she wants to be attached to him. So if you'd rather remain attached to someone emotionally and go overseas, and well, then there you go. But if you wouldn't, like,
I think you'll struggle to enjoy the things that you think you'll enjoy without a partner. Like, you know, I can only assume it's like hook up with dudes overseas and have your fun, which is great. But I feel
Or
like
just
you'll struggle.
travel and
Yeah, but sure. But you don't need to be single to just travel, right? Like, as in, she could have a boyfriend back home and they could still
yeah,
be
like maybe
together
she's
and
going
do long
she's going to
distance.
party and whatever. Like
You can still have a partner and party. The main thing that you obviously don't want a partner for is to hook up with other people. Like, you can just say it. That's the reality of wanting to travel single, right? It's
yeah.
not, yeah. But I'm saying if you are leaving someone back home that you have really strong feelings for, you're probably going to struggle to enjoy that other part of it if you're thinking about the person back home.
But
that
that's
you
what
have
I'm
strong feelings
saying.
about.
Like if she's unsure, you don't need to draw a line in the sand. You don't need to go sorry.
Did you just cough out phlegm on your shirt?
No, I just realised I've got Fletcher's snot all over my shoulder.
Oh, no.
Just add to the spooky vibes, pretend it's a slug. I don't think you need to draw a line in the sand. Like I said, I think you can just go overseas and keep being in touch. And like, you don't have to decide what you are, right?
Are you asking me if
Why?
that's right?
Yeah, like why do you have to make a decision?
You don't have to. I can only speak from my experience. If I knew that, like, let's say when we got back together the second time, right? And we were in the early stages around like that Christmas period. If I decided that like I had really
Before we
strong-
became exclusive again.
well, I said around Christmas time, so that's when we became exclusive. But like, let's say just before that, a couple of days, and I was like, I really like this girl. I feel really strongly about her. I want to be with her, which is what she said. She goes, ideally, I'd want to be with him in 2026. So like, ideally, I want to be with you. How long? That'd be like me going overseas that Christmas and then trying to have fun. Like, I couldn't personally do it knowing that I wanted that with you. But I'm not saying that
That's
she
what I'm
shouldn't,
saying. You can
know?
still go overseas and have a good time and not hook up with people.
Yeah, that's possible. But then you could also have a partner then. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be with him, why can't you be with him now and then still travel? Like, hey, I'm going on this trip still, and hey, we're together. Like, I'm not going to hook up with people. Hopefully, you're not going to hook up with people when we're home, and we get to be together properly when I get back.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
That's an option.
If you definitely want to be together, you could get together now and just rekindle when you get back home. Like, if
Well,
you
like,
know you're not going to
physically rekindle.
if
yeah.
you know you're not going to hook up with people while you're overseas, then yeah, I guess there's no point in waiting. But if you're unsure and you don't know what to do and you want to feel it out, just do exactly that. Like, you don't have to make any decisions. And like I said at the start, if he's right for you, he'll still be there.
Love that.
Okay.
But if she was going overseas and said, hey, I want to be single for it, what should like he do at home? Like, is he allowed to like go on dates and smooch other girls and stuff?
Well,
Like,
you're
'cause
both
he's
not
single.
together. So I guess, yeah, it's up in the air
Yeah.
whilst she's away.
I would say I know a couple who have done that, gone like, hey, let's have a break with the intention to get back together. So similar to this, like their intention is to get back together. And they've both said like, yeah, we're single. So like, you can do whatever you want. And then when they got back together and spoke about it, and they sort of like, hey, what did you do? And who did you do it with? And they had a discussion about it. It wasn't okay by one of the parties. So like, I'm just saying that it could turn out bad if you have that as like one of your options, if one of you is not okay with something that the other one does. But that's obviously just something that you're going to have to tackle as a couple. So
Well, yeah, if you're willingly being single and not together, then that's very confusing.
it is confusing, but obviously it's a weird one for her to tackle. It's
I
like,
think we're giving terrible advice.
no, I don't know. It is a tough one. Like, I'm all for like going and not having, not being tied down to anything. But at the same time, then I think, well, if you want to be with this person, then just be with them now. And like, you can still travel and enjoy traveling without smooching people and hooking up with people. That's not what traveling's about. So
Is that why you
know.
waited to come back from Cairns to make it official with me?
that's funny that you say that. Didn't you have people contact you and say they thought I was gay
I'm
because
just-
I didn't talk to any girls when I was in Cairns?
Joking.
They were like, oh, we saw your boyfriend in Cairns and he didn't talk to any girls. We all thought he was gay. And I was like, awesome. Glad I was giving off that vibe. And I just wasn't flirting with girls. Awesome.
And that's where we end this podcast. Guys, there was a spooky special.
It wasn't. I wasn't spooked at all.
I loved today's episode. I thought it was brilliant. If
Happy
you
Halloween to everyone.
Yeah, a happy Halloween. If you love the episode, we'd love to hear from you. You can leave a comment on Spotify or just rate the podcast. We'd love that as well. And we very much appreciate your time and your ears. And we will see you next time.
See you guys.
See you later.